Greetings YouTube. This time I have another video for you. This time it's a hair clipper by Surker. Now this hair clipper is marketed as the bald head clipper. We'll talk about that in a few minutes here. It's the model SK-7206. This particular hair clipper is not particularly new. It's been on the market for a little while, but it's something that I picked up fairly recently. I have tried it and I wanted to give my impressions of how this clipper does, how it performs, and what are my thoughts about it. So like I said, it's not a particularly new model, but the reason this particular clipper has been doing well is because it's really used for doing, the finer edges. Like, on this dude, you can see there's all kind of fine work that has been done. And this particular clipper is particularly suited for that kind of work. I do have another clipper by Surker that I use for my haircut in general, as well as for my son. But this is something that I wanted because, it's hard to get into the finer nooks and crannies of the head to do the finer job. And this one was marketed and, performed really targeted towards that kind of a job. So in terms of this clipper, you can pick it up at Amazon or other places for around $30. And if you shop around, you might even get a deal from AliExpress and whatnot. But as far as the clipper is concerned, it's a fairly decently made clipper. Surker is a Chinese brand, but their products have been overall pretty solid as far as their overall range is concerned. So like I said, this is the second clipper I have from this brand, and so far it has done relatively well for me. So let's take a quick look at what this is all about, and we'll do the unboxing and see the internals of what the product is all about. So the charge time on this is 2 hours, as you can see. 150-minute cordless use. That's another big advantage I should mention. It is cordless, and if you have been doing any hair clipping recently, you would recognize that having a cordless clipper is actually very, very convenient. You don't have to mess with the cords and stuff. It has a super long lifespan. It says 1,000 hours, which I think for a clipper of this price range is very, very decent. It is marketed as IPX6, which basically means it can handle a little bit of water sprinkling over it. IPX ranges go from 0 to 8. So this is at 8. So, something at a 7 or 8 would actually, you could dip it into a pool of water, it'll be fine. It's not particularly suited for that. But if you have a little bit of water sprinkled over it, or even if it is coming into contact of a shower, it'll be fine. Now it comes in 3 colors, silver, black, gold, and gold. And then as far as its features are concerned, obviously you have an on-off switch, which I'm going to talk about. It has a special design, and you'll see what I mean by that in a moment here as I unbox it. It has a stainless steel blade, which is great. It uses a USB Type-C charging, and so it comes with that. And then you have a sharp ceramic head. So the head itself is made out of ceramic. And the design is basically, you have it in a cylindrical form, so it's easier to hold. And then you have the charging cord, you have the combs that come with it if you need it, and then you have a cleaning brush that comes with it. If you take a look at the box here, it says it's rechargeable hair clipper, of course. Charging time is 2 hours. Full power can be used for about 150 minutes, which is plenty for maybe going through 2 or 3 or 4 haircuts, depending on how long you use it. And you have a charging indicator light built in. So that's the box. Let's quickly see what it actually contains. Comes in a nicely packaged box. For something at this price point, I think it comes in a nice box. And as I open it, you can see here, bring this stuff aside. Here's the clipper itself. I picked this up in gold, and we'll take a look at this momentarily. So I'm going to put this aside and see the rest of the contents in the box. It comes with the USB-C cord that I was telling you about. So that's the business end of it. Of course, it's got USB on the other end. It does not give you a brick, along with it. But, most people do have a brick lying around, so shouldn't be a problem by itself. But yeah, something to note, they don't really supply you the power brick. You gotta have it on your own. And then there are these 3 combs and the cleaning brush. The combs themselves, let's take a quick look at those. This one is 1 mm. The other one is 3, and I'm guessing this one is 2. So you have 1, 2, and 3 mm combs that come with it, and of course there's a user manual in there as well. So that's the content of the box itself. Now coming to the cord clipper itself, you can see on this end, here's where the power cord or the charging takes place. This button here is what you press to turn this thing on or off, and it lights up. So you can tell, whether it's charging, and so it has these color indicators. As you can see, the head is kind of unique. It's not as bulky as you would see with a lot of other clippers. This is a guard that's already on, so I'm going to take this off. And as you can see, it has a unique shape for sure compared to a lot of other clippers. And then you can see why you can really get into the fine edges, under the ear and stuff like that to do your finer job, as you're doing a haircut. You can also obviously use this for trimming your hair, even, going down to a bald look if you want. It can do a fairly good job of going, for that bald look, but it's not going to be comparable to shaving your head. So if that's your expectation, it's probably going to fall short a little bit, but it gets really close to the skin. So for a clipper, I think it gets really close to the skin. Like I said, it is very comfortable. You wouldn't necessarily feel that it's going to scratch you or give you a little bit of a cut. So it does feel very comfortable when you're actually using it on your skin, which is a positive. It's something that I always think of as I'm cutting my son's hair. But yeah, I've never felt unsafe with this thing. It's not necessarily zero gapped. So although I have tried my best to get it zero gap, but there are videos out there that you can see to get it zero gapped for yourself on any clipper for that matter. But yeah, I don't think it comes zero gap, but so you'll have to do a little bit of adjustment. And it's not very, it's not really difficult. You just take off these screws and you have to, do a little bit of an adjustment and then just tighten them up, and you're pretty much good to go. So yeah, that's the clipper. As the box said, it's stainless steel up here, and the blade itself, this is apparently it's ceramic. Although it's hard for me to tell whether that is ceramic or not. So the battery is obviously contained within here. So as you charge it, it's going to get charged, and it does change color to give you an indication of whether it's getting charged, whether it's fully charged, and so forth. So if I press it to just give you a feel for how does it sound, it's not particularly loud. I wouldn't say it's particularly loud, but particularly if you have applied some oil in there and it's properly tightened up, that's the kind of sound you can expect. So with use, I think it has gotten a little bit of a sound to it, but it's not uncomfortable sound. It doesn't feel like it's really close to your ears and you're uncomfortable. But yeah, just to give you a sense of that is the kind of sound it makes. One thing that I would have liked with this is if the button here would have been placed somewhere here. I think it would have been more appropriate to place it here, so as you're cutting it, you could easily handle it. Here you have to kind of shift your position and then turn it off. Not a big deal, but I think it would have been convenient if the button was right here. Something to mention there from my direct use of it. But like I said, not a big deal. Now, as far as the rest of the unit is concerned, I think it's built fairly well. You can get real close to the skin, get in there, and you don't feel like you're out of control at any point. So that's the Surker model 7206. And so far, I have been fairly happy with it. I think once or twice it did, get a little bit loose, but I think it was probably my fault because I didn't tighten it all the way. But overall, like I said, I'm fairly pleased with this product. So if you're looking to pick it up still, or if there are other models by Surker now, since this is came out a few years ago, you might be able to pick something up with a little bit more of a feature edition. But like I said, for me, it has worked really well. So it's a Surker 7206. Thank you for watching the video. And if you like the content that you're seeing, please consider subscribing and hitting the like button. And I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye-bye.